over the last week or so, they've probably gotten 1.5 feet of snow. There's just a lot more snow up here than I figured, but it's going pretty well. Hopefully we'll be able to tell what shows up on camera if they're using it. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Trying to dig in. I mean, there's some green rock. Small bob. A little bit of a radish there. But they gotta dig through like 1.5 feet of snow. Sam and I just rolled up to the 70, and as you can tell, over the last week or so, they've probably gotten 1.5 feet of snow. They've just gotten pounded. So we had an idea. We actually borrowed a tractor with a snowblower on it. And to make it a little bit easier on these deer, we're gonna try and snowblow part of this food plot off. You can definitely see where they are trying to dig. And we just tried shoveling up a little bit. And there's for sure some food left under there, but obviously they gotta expend so much effort just to dig for it. So we're gonna try and blow it off. And then I think we'll be back up here next week to try and hunt it. So we figured, why not give it a shot and see if it works. There's just a lot more snow up here than I figured, but it's going pretty well. We got most of this front portion done, and that's where most of the food was anyway, which is the part that was fenced. So instead of them having to dig through 1.5 feet of snow, they'll just have to dig through a couple inches, and I think that'll make it a lot more appealing to them. So not a ton of food left, but there's some spots where there's, I mean, golf ball size bulbs, and there's some radishes here too. So I think it'll make it a lot more appealing. We're gonna get this finished up, get back up here next week to hunt it, and see if it works. Well, that's a wrap. Got that taken care of, and figured it'd be a cool little experiment here to see if it'll help or not. I think it will. We just finished up shoveling off a few areas too to make it a little bit easier, and then we'll be up here probably next week, hunt out of this blind. So hopefully we'll be able to tell what shows up on camera and if they're using it. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. What's up, guys? We are back heading to the 70. We snow blew it last week, and we are gonna go get a hunt in. So conditions are good, and we're gonna get there, get headed out, and we'll see you in the blind. So we're trying to sneak in here. There were a couple on camera working their way across the plot, so hopefully we can get in clean. Well, we just made it to the blind. It's the second week of December, and we were up here a week ago, snow blowing that plot off. Honestly, they're not using it near as much as I would have expected. I think part of that has to do with the fact that they've gotten probably 6 to 8 inches of additional snow since we've been up here. There's been a few on camera, but like I said, not near as many as I thought. I just wanted a quick touch on the last video. We had that buck. It was 2 days after opener for gun season. We actually had no idea how nice that deer was that we briefly saw and Sam got a couple seconds of footage of until we got back and reviewed that. So that was obviously good to see. I wish we would have seen him a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. I don't know if he's still around. Obviously, it's 3 weeks since we saw him. We did get one decent deer on camera. That it wasn't a great picture, but he looked pretty nice too, so that could have been him, but obviously not sure. We did also find out, it was still during bow season, that my neighbor to the north ended up shooting that target buck, that nice 10-pointer that I would have shot. So big congrats to him. Not totally sure what's out here at this point, but nonetheless, conditions are good. And it's just nice to get back up here, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully they move decent. There's another one behind it too. On the top of the hill. Yeah, it's pretty frustrating. We had those two coming down the hill to our south, and that first one was probably within 40 yards, and she was just browsing on one of those pines, and I don't know if she was looking at the bottom of the stand or if something fell off or what it was, but she blew once and then headed back south. And we had these two other ones just to the north, and I think they were bedded, within 100 yards the whole time, and they just stood up. So we got about an hour left, and hopefully they keep moving decent, and we'll see what happens. Well, we just got back to the truck, and I would say for the most part that was a bust. We did see 4 deer. None came to the food plot, but that's obviously hunting. So with the neighbor having all that corn, I just don't think this is the preferred food source right now. And ever since we've had all this snow, the number of deer on camera has decreased. So if any of you guys watching have any thoughts or opinions on that, or have gone through similar experiences, I'd love to hear what we should do different out here, or what we could look for, because I guess it could be a cover thing too, and there could just not be a whole lot of deer living out here anymore either. So would love to hear your thoughts. Nonetheless, good learning experience. Felt great to get back out here, and obviously it's always fun hunting in the snow. So we did just hit 600 subs, so really appreciate you guys following along, and this is just the beginning out here, so looking forward to everything that's to come, and for bringing you guys along. So like I said, thanks again. Not sure when we'll be up here next, but we will see you guys in the next one.